What's up, y'all? If it looks like I'm sweating, I am, because I'm on take like 5 now and I keep failing at this. But thanks for tuning into the podcast channel. I wanted to take a second to tell you guys a little bit about this video before we get started. A couple weeks ago, Keith, Ben, and I went down to visit Josh Ilderton, and while we were down there, we recorded some sit-down podcasts like what we've shown in the past, but we also wanted to try something a little bit different. Over the years, I've noticed that a lot of the best hunting conversations that we have end up taking place when we're driving around or we're sitting around in camp or visiting friends, and I just want to try to experiment with tapping into that a little bit more. Sometimes by sitting down to do the podcast, we miss little details that we may cover on our own personal conversations. So this podcast is a little bit more interactive. While we were there, Josh wanted to show us his lease that he hunts on a lot. So Keith and I saw that as a great opportunity to try to record the natural conversations that we were having while we were out on that property. So what we're asking from you guys is some feedback. Do you guys like this style of podcast, or do you prefer the more stationary sit-down podcasts? We're never going to get away from that completely, so no worries there. But if you guys like this interactive podcast style, I feel like natural conversations are just a little bit easier because there's not pressure with cameras and there's no pressure to ask a question immediately. So from the conversation standpoint, it's a little bit easier, and Keith and I both enjoy producing this style. One of the things that Keith did when he uploaded this video is he put chapters on it. So if you go down to the play bar, you can see different chapters down there. That way, if you want to jump to a specific topic, or maybe you watch it in different pieces, it may be a little bit easier to save the spot that you were at. One of the goals that we had was to learn Josh's style and learn how he hunts super rugged mountainous country. So if you're watching this and you hunt mountainous country, you'll be able to relate to that aspect of it. But even if you're a hunter that does a lot of spot and stalk hunting in open country, you'll also get some awesome tips for that as well. The final thing to note is this podcast has a little bit of light foul language in it. So if you're watching or listening with younger kids, maybe keep that in mind. And again, please just let us know what you think about this video in the comments, and we'll keep trying to deliver the content that you guys want to see. Let's get to it. What do you got going?
I got a rear tire going down.
You think it could have been on that rock busting we were doing coming up here, or what?
No.
Okay, with that.
I got a couple plugs already in them tires.
You got a spare in here?
Not size. I'm definitely leaking air out. 39 pounds and everything except for it down to 19. It's a long walk out of this road. So I was reclaiming that valley fill, and a boy got the rock truck, didn't do a walk around to see if anything was around it. He just whipped her backwards at a 90 degree and ran over my truck. And then he just takes off. And he didn't hit the cab, he ran over the whole bed of the truck. He just smashed it. I mean, tires, everything just went. Finally got him on the CB and asked him to come back up there. And he got out and he said, "Man, what the hell happened?" I said, "Dude, you ran over my truck bed." And I was so pissed off, and I fired him, but he walked all the way off here. He got tired of listening to me, walked out.
Oh, there's a person right there.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, homeless homie got a dagger on his side too.
No way.
Got a skinning knife on his side. I like him. I ain't trying to sneak up on you, I just gotta get some air. $2 for damn air. I agree. I can't hear you. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to find that leak. Should be flat as a pancake come out in the morning. Oh yeah. What's it reading up there, Ben, on the dash?
24.
Gonna take a whole lot more.
Is there a hole, or is it a
Screw. See it right there?
Yeah.
Let me go see if they got a plug kit. Bleeding somewhere. Then we'll set a hospital getters that Ben brought out.
What is it?
I don't know.
I'm getting some sort of.
Oh, it's nice. Wait a second. Don't pull all the way out.
Look out, dude.
I don't know what that is. Might take a double plug. That'll cause a flat, won't it?
Yeah. You'd love to know which bump it is. Yeah, right. That's not what I thought it was gonna be.
No, me either, bub. Me either. This thing's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the sound I wanted to hear. How does that go in a tire? I mean, it must have rolled up and got on a hard ground. I mean, look at that. It goes.
It's just totally round too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's why it was hard to get, is you could never grip it.
And memories of West Virginia.
Hell yeah. I got more than what we come off the mountain with.
Yeah?
Pictures on 8 cameras. I'd get pictures of him on 4 cameras every day. And I never figured out that he was only coming through some trails on some cameras, depending on what the wind and the thermals was doing. Once he got killed, everybody started sharing pictures. It was getting him a mile away. And they'd send the pictures to me, and I'd look at the timestamp, and if their timestamp was right, which some of them are and some of them ain't, but like the days that I thought I was in his wheelhouse, and I'm thinking he was going to come through this area because he was in this area 2 or 3 hours ago, he was already gone a mile and a half away. I was hunting atmosphere at that point.
Yeah. So what days did he end up on that point? Was there like any pattern to it?
No, it wasn't much of a pattern, but the whole time I hunted him, I only saw him 3 times.
The one with the big brow tines.
That's right, Twin Towers is what I call him. First picture I got of him was 9/11/2016.
Jeez.
So when I got that picture, he had little stubs on his 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
He was an 8-point, but he had brow tines that stuck up above his main frame. And I looked at the timestamp and it said September 11th. I said, hell, we're going to call him Twin Tower. That's the first deer I ever named. That's the only deer I've ever named. That's the only deer I've ever gave a damn about. And I still didn't get him.
Yeah.
Hell, when Jake was here, we hunted 9 days in a row before we came out. I tell you when he got killed. I came out for the Public Land Challenge. We left. We done 9 days straight, and I'd seen 3 does in 9 days. Miserable hunting. No content. I mean, you could have been content of me just sitting there.
Yeah.
But like, who wants to? I mean, it gets to a point where a non-kill video could be extremely boring. And then we were coming back from Indiana. Some guy called me and he said, "Your deer got killed." It was like it was a great thing. I was like, "Wait, man," he said he killed your deer yesterday. They're looking for it now. I said, "So it ain't dead?" They said, "No, he gut shot it." But he ended up finding it. So I don't think I'd ever caught up with him, to be honest with you.
What do you feel like you would do differently now, knowing some of the things that you know?
I would probably hunt more mornings, which I don't do a lot of in the timber, but I probably would have hunted more mornings for sure.
How far was your access getting in there?
Not bad. I mean, I could ride the ridge out from the other creek. So it wasn't bad walking, and I thought I had him nailed down. I mean, one day Jared Schaefer was filming me, and I was hunting ridge, and I was 75, 80 yards from a camera down the point, and I just thought for sure that where I got a picture of him in the middle of the night that he would travel that ridge out. And at 8:15, he came across that point, 80 yards from us, you know.
Like if you were hunting him in the morning, as far as setups go, what would your strategy have been? Like just kind of get on his bed or what?
I would have side hill hunted more. Yeah. And I don't normally do that. Like I hunt points to help my crosswind as much as possible here. Your thermals are going to be pulling up. You know, I think that 8 mile an hour or more, it's washing your thermals out anyway. So I always try to hunt points to help me out as much as possible if I'm getting elevated. And I probably would have got on the side hill more because my guess is that short ridge I was hunting is the only time that there was a lot of activity on that ridge was when he was running scent check for the thermals and the crosswind coming off that point. And when I was hunting early season, I should have been off the top, but it always makes me nervous to do that. I'd set a camera on a scrape and I might get a picture of him, but like I've never had like success. Like he might visit a scrape 2 days in a row, but I've never had success just laying on a scrape.
Yeah.
That deer I killed this year, that flyer buck that had that point coming off its G2, like that was the first time that I was stoked the evening before because I saw that on fire sign. Like you know when you're hunting, ground hunting, you're just going and all of a sudden you're like, hey, this is it.
Yeah.
This is This
there's
could
like-
be
there's
a
piss
kill.
and
This
scrape.
could be a kill area.
You guys have thought that?
And then I walked past it.
That's what this area was, Zach.
Yeah.
And like, so I put a camera on these two big car. I mean, they were got big car hood scrapes, and I mean they were plowed. And then I went in there I didn't hunt that morning. I went in there like at 1 o'clock midday, and I'm glad because I got at 2:15 the action started. I've never seen that many bucks grunt, snort, wheezing, fighting, does fighting. Oh, good night.
What day was that?
November 9th. I mean, it was.
Oh, you're just saying that they're rutting then.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. They were getting after it. Honestly, I've never heard that, like, snort wheezing. I've never heard it that many times.
Really?
Probably 30, 40 times that afternoon. And I mean, you could see antlers running through this big forest call thicket that was up above me. I mean, it was unreal.
Honest question.
Yeah, man.
What the hell's Valley Field mean?
Valley Field.
Valley Field?
F-I-L-L. So
Okay.
what that is they're taking a valley, the head of a stream where it starts at the main head of the holler, and they're clear cutting the area, and they're dumping all the overburden from mining in that valley field, in that valley. So they call it a valley field. So it's all it is a dump, a fill area. You're taking all your spoil. Yeah.
Oh man, that's when the West Virginia just seeps through so hard that you can't even understand it.
Well, that does happen sometimes. Some people look at me when I'm talking, they're like, hey man, I didn't hear anything you said. I said, yeah, you heard me, you just didn't understand me.
That one got me. I've heard you guys say that for years.
Those areas, once they reclaim it, those are like magnets because they plant the, wildlife coverage. And so for like the first 5, 6 years, you're not allowed to plant automobile anymore unless it's approved by Department of Environmental Protection, like for slope stabilization or something like that, where it's just like extremely steep and they need fast root take to hold it. It's the only time it's allowed to be sprayed anymore. It's as useless as anything to me. It's so invasive.
So did the valley field, did they vegetate slower because the deer are always down there browsing?
No. Everything's on rock here. So then they blast and create all the alluvial material and everything. And it's blasted rock and sand, which once it's treated with lime, it gets pH levels right, because they got to treat it before they plant it. So it's like fertile ground, after a couple of years, and it's making its own soil base of the decomposition. Oh, I better take my seatbelt off. Man, try to get out.
Did you talk to this person over here? I don't even think he has permission.
I'm just gonna take it with us. But cup of iron and a half.
Just teach Ben how to do it and then you got a gate boy.
I like that.
I don't know if you want to trust that. Until
What
tomorrow
does that
I get
mean?
back to do my laundry and I'm like, what's this key from? Valley field.
Yeah. I mean, could we have been more
I'll
wrong?
take y'all to a valley field so y'all can see it.
Yeah.
But
You think they're browsing in that in the evening?
oh yeah, guarantee it, they're in there right now. In order for the coal company, so they bond the property. So they're insuring the property that they're going to put it back to a natural state. So they got phases that they have to go through during the reclamation process to achieve that and get their bond money back. So you were talking about trees and stuff.
Yeah.
So they, their first phase is getting everything planted, getting all the erosion krills and stuff fixed, and getting grass growing. In the next phase, it might be tree planting.
Yeah.
So they got to plant so many trees, and then they have a survival rate, and then water testing, and they take tissue samples of fish to see their survival rate and crawdads and everything to make sure the water's good. So water quality is in one of the phases. One of the parts of the lease, before I went to work for Massey, the coal company I used to work for, they reintroduced the American chestnut on reclaimed land. Huge success rate, like nobody ever had. And like a lot of people are doing it now because they didn't plant them before, but they didn't think that they would grow.
Huh.
But now they've done
How
awesome.
big are they now?
That was probably 20 years ago. I mean, they're doing good. I mean, we'll probably go out that way.
All these signs and stuff are these
Old.
It's just as old when people were working here and nobody works here now.
Nobody works here now. No, it's completely shut down. It's for coal trucks coming in and out, employees coming in and out. I mean, this mine up here was huge in the heyday.
When was that?
They shut down probably. They got deep mines up here too, but the surface mine probably shut down in 16, 17, 18.
Super recent.
Yeah. So everything that when we turned off the 4-lane and started coming up the holler, everything on the right is leased. See that valley field right there? See the scrub on it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Pretty old, right?
So you got some years of growth on this valley field right here. Okay. Now I'll show you one that doesn't have, but all that has been mined down. You can see the difference in the. You see the difference in the transition lines going from the non-native trees down to the canopy that the oaks and stuff sit on.
Yeah.
So everything down to that line has been mined.
Okay.
Okay, and it's mountaintop removal, so they just take a section of the mine it, put it in the valley field to open up the mine, and then they just start putting it behind them and building the mountain back up
Okay.
at the
And then
reclaim.
just plant that.
And then they plant it.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So when you say deep mine, do you mean like lower?
Underground.
Lower? Oh.
Yeah, go underground.
They drive through some of those?
No, not allowed in those. The only people that go in those that ain't allowed is thieves.
The bears will up in there?
Yeah, if they can get in. So they mine underground on like a grid, and we've gone underground, after our dogs, we'll see where they go into the mine, we'll go in there and, you're sitting in there, you got a headlamp on, and you ever seen like them scary movies, like when something crosses the hallway, you're like,
Yeah.
so you're in the deep mine, and you got your light on, and you hear something coming, and then you just see a glimpse of the bear go past you on one of the grids underground, and then the dogs go through, and then they'll bring it back through.
Like freaking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like that. Kind of a surreal world out here. Apocalyptic world almost.
This is all mountain topped, and they've put it all back. They have an elevation that they have to get back up to. It's required by laws. But this out here, this will give you a great picture and be able to see a lot too.
So what's your strategy then to hunt this? Just ride this spot?
I ride, and I get certain places that I can see as much as I can see, and glass. I live and die by glass. That's how I hunt. I love getting elevated if the situation calls for it, but I can sit there and snack and drink Kool-Aid, sit in my chair, my tripod and spot and scope and 2 sets of binoculars, sit there all day. I love it. I just love trying to find deer that they're there but nothing's moving. Just find that flicker, just so you can get it stained in your mind to look for that picture when you're looking for other deer.
Which reminds me of like a Call of Duty map.
So this is an old preparation plant. So all the coal mine got brought out here, and it goes through their clean system. This belt line, there used to be a belt line, comes through here.
Did you do work here?
No, not on this mine.
Kids these days just don't want to work.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
All Josh wants to do is go deer stalking. He just don't want to work.
I hear that a lot. I hear that a lot.
When you gonna get a real job?
Like I tell everybody. And, not coming off the wrong way, but anybody it's the greatest thing about America. You can go out there and start a company and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get blessed enough and you're able to do what you love to do.
That's right.
What is this thing?
So this is a belt line. The belt obviously took off, but it goes down. Then it goes down the mountain, and it hits silos down here in this water basin, which is away from the 4-lane. And then it gets loaded on a train down there for transport.
It's crazy that this much material just like it's just sits here. It's like
Probably forever though, right?
Yeah.
It will sit here because
It's probably more expensive.
it's more expensive to demo it
Yeah.
than what scrap's worth. But at some point, the coal company will have to remove everything off the property to fully release.
Until they sell the company.
That's right.
Hey, Dust Bowl. Absolutely.
Oh, Dust Bowl turkey.
A Dust Bowl.
We should see some deer out here. I mean, I would think. There's one right there. See him on the other side of the yellow. You got to come in and see him on the other side of the yellow in there. He's on that.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple already in here.
When you come up to these tops, how cautious are you of doing what we just did in season?
Oh, in season? Oh no, I wouldn't just walk through because there's always deer from experience feeding in through this slope that you can't see. So what we normally do is we'll come out here early season, cut some of these tops off, and then we come in low and just kind of get in here and look, and then we kind of plan ourselves and just continue to look. Get the big glass. Once you see one with your binos, you can look at it clearly across. So you see the steps. This valley field goes all the way to that creek that's coming out of that holler. So they filled this holler up with millions of yards of material, and then they get to this. This is probably the valley field with the least amount of growth on it in this area. So even when it's grown up, if you can imagine like the autumn olives, you see how it's got the benches? Those benches will grow up and get thick, but you can still move on them when there's in autumn olives, and then you're hearing them below you and above you. And if they're like, you can hear them below you and then they go out, well, they've gone across a step and gone on down. So you can, strategy-wise, you can bucket down to that next bench where he just got off of and try to catch him mid-slope between bench and bench, because it's real thick between bench and bench, but if you get on those benches, you can see some. And boy, that sucker. Freaking bugs, man. Shit.
So when they bed out there, are they bedding
On the flats.
on the flat?
Yeah, they don't. I don't think I've seen deer bed between, like on the side hill. They all get on the flats.
Okay.
And kind of just tuck in. And
So then will you take a spotter then and like get real particular and look for a tine on all those flat spots?
that's exactly right. Slow and steady, man. Details, keeping
one
run
spot
focused.
after
Yeah.
another.
And that's the best thing to do is go across, drop, come back on this one. And then you go to the bottom and you come right back up, because a deer could have popped up, in no time.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I feel like I like that idea of knowing that they're going to be on a specific area and just being able to pick that apart with confidence. Because like, if you're not seeing them bedding mid-slope at all, then you know that
Now,
you don't have to waste a bunch of time
right.
picking apart all those
Like this
spots.
valley feels easy to come in, give it 30 minutes to an hour, and you don't see what you want, then bust it, go look at another spot, and then come back here in an hour. Come back here at midday and look again. Because, a lot of them, obviously you see the hard timber over there, so they're coming through here and feeding and then hitting that timber to go bed. And then also the same thing, you can see the canopy right here.
Yep.
So they're feeding under this and going to bed on that point. And that's what you see a lot of. You don't see a lot of bedding in here until
the rut.
later in the season. That's right.
when things get like kind of cold.
That's exactly right. That's when you start seeing them. They're eating longer, or they're out here chasing, and they just lay down. And then getting towards the later part of the season, like December, then they're staying out here, and then they're just getting up, eating, laying down, eating, trying to get ready for the winter.
So when they bed up in the timber, are they bedding mostly, in your experiences, like on the high knobs or on the points, or both? Or depending on where the food is, I suppose.
The food's going to dictate, but I feel like those deer, and I'm just taking this place for example, I've watched those deer. I don't know if you can see, if you're looking at this bottom power line, Zach, so look across that hillside and come down, an inch off that power line with your fingers. You can see a transition line there with your naked eye. That's an old logging road. And you can see about 100 vertical feet above it. There's another one. And that's the corridor that those deer are using. And it's not just here, they're using them everywhere here in this steep country, because like you said, it's the path of least resistance. I mean, what are you going to walk? If you got a choice to walk that flat around and go up to that holler, or are you going to walk straight up that peak?
I think that's the one thing that is getting more and more apparent as we hunt super steep hill country stuff. It's like, if you find that unpressured area, don't overthink necessarily where they're going to be. Like, if it's flat, that's where they're going to be. I mean, they can obviously use it better than we can even, but still, like you're saying, that's the only place that's flat on that whole hillside. And I've been in stuff like this, turkey hunting. It's like, this is literally some of the steepest stuff I've ever been in my life.
It's pretty rugged. That's what I'm saying. And Wyoming and everywhere. That's what Warp said, the same thing. He's like, we've hunted some big stuff, but I don't think nothing's as rugged as down here. A couple of deer popped out over below that one big top plateau. Popped out of that brush a little bit right of the power line ball. Back there next to that other power line.
Up on the top?
No, not the top plateau, right off the next level. They're tucked back right in that, in those automals. I say automals, but they're all automals. But it's like that middle stand of trees. They're right there in that grass right there.
I got it just glass. I'm trying to look with the camera, and it's like, nah, that ain't working. Oh, I see some. Oh, dude, I mean, the glassing out here is just a hilarious opportunity.
What are you carrying there, Zach? The 8x32s?
Yeah, not a good pair for out here,
That's
really.
a good pair to take off with, though.
You can crawl with them easily. I like that. 15 by 52, is that what you got?
12 by 50s.
12 by 50.
And I don't hunt with these, just when I'm glassing. But then I'm a 10 by 42 if I take off. But just sitting here glass, they're too heavy to hunt with.
I hunt with those 15 by 52s sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta just be willing to literally get beat up by them though. Because you take off running and
yeah,
hit you. I'm talking.
Well, if you're the man of steel, you don't have to worry about that shit.
I mean, everybody heard that cord on your chest?
Yeah, ting, 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 ting. Sound like Tink Tink with his bent back paper clips. Y'all ever listen to Cat Williams? Oh my God. Funniest dude I ever heard in my life. He gets me in stitches, boy. So those two transition lines I was telling you, you don't see any more down through there. Just so there's no more crossing around that point, right? You can see it with your bare eye. But when you get over there, that bench is 20, 30, 40 foot wide, and you can really go from point to point and see what I try to explain it in several podcasts that I go point to point, look through the drain, and you can really ground hunt around there, take your time, spend all day.
Especially if you're coming around side hill.
That's right. And you can listen below you, listen above you, because they are going to run on the side hills, and they're going to travel there, but they're not going to travel a side hill. They're going to go from bench to bench.
When you get to a glassing point over there, what's your setup? What do you do?
Over there in the timber, so it's obviously smaller power binoculars, but when we set up over there, I get to a point where I can shoot, that if something would actually be coming my direction, that I'm ready. But then, you know, once I sit there and listen and let it kind of settle, when you get to that area, so maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 20 minutes, who knows. But then all I do is I'll peek over the edge, glass everything I can real good, glass everything above me. I mean, scanning, not just, okay, we're good, let's go to the next one. I mean, you're there till you're comfortable to move, you know what I mean? So glass everything you can, and then you pick out a spot that you glass last, and you want to get, in my opinion, you try to get 10, 15 yards before that, so that you don't bump anything past. Because if you can glass and see them, they're going to see you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's that simple.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're not going to...
You're not going to fool one going right down right here if you can see
Right.
them the whole way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go a lot slower.
Mm-hmm.
Once I get in the timber, I'm glassing.
Do you call and stuff at all, or do you just kind of try to...
I
reply?
snort wheeze more than I ever grunt, because just never been real responsive to grunting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just let out a snort wheeze with my mouth, like every now and then, where I might stir some leaves up, but...
Well, should we move along?
We should. I want to show y'all this other area, give you a good idea of what the habitat is.
I feel like,
Yeah.
this is pretty sick for the style that you like.
Oh, this is dreams, man. This right here is, Zach, I don't know if you remember, a few years ago when my dogs got tore up so bad. I made a post, I mean, every one of them got put in the vet.
Was it bear?
No, heck no, I thought it was bear. They struck so hard. I said, oh yeah. And I just got out and dumped the whole freaking tailgate. I just put them all on it. I said, hell yeah. And I mean, they were cranking, boy. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a dandy. I thought I dropped right behind him. You know what I mean? As he crossed this road. Man, it was about 60 seconds. I heard dogs squall, and I said, hey, it ain't a bear. Storm run up to me, and her whole side was flapped open. I said, it's a wild boar. He got every dog in about 60 seconds. I went down through there, man, through this thicket, trying to kill that son of a gun. Couldn't see nothing down there. I got all my dogs out. They were down for a while.
One hog did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, all they do is turn and flip. Turn and flip. They just flip them cutters.
How big did those things get?
I've seen a couple boars, 300, and I mean they look the part, by God, and they're mean. Like, it's one animal. Like, I can assure you, if you corner it, he ain't staying in there. Like, a bear will bay up and lay there and catch his breath. That boar is coming out of there.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to hold your posture there a little bit and wait till you get real close. If you ain't got a gun, just jump to the side, because they can't.
Yeah, they can't turn.
They can't turn. But you got to have your timing right.
Didn't you jump off a cliff for the one that ended up hurting your knee trying to run from the?
I was trying to jump
or south, yeah.
through some reclamation.
That's right.
And I got up on this dike and I jumped to the next dike, and then from that one I just went ahead and jumped to the next one. And then my toes come and scratch my belly button. I heard everything. I said, Godfrey, I'm down. He went, I am too. he fell, man, and busted his camera, busted his phone. Busted his deer right there. Busted his arm. He's like, I think my arm's broke. I said, well, I can assure you that I am down. I said, I'm toast. But it was funnier than hell when I told Greg to run.
Because he didn't think you were serious, right?
Yeah, and I said, Greg, you need to run. And he turned and looked at the truck, and Greg got the legs, he's just chopping and he's taking off. When we turned around, the truck was about, we parked 500 or 600 yards from the edge of that place we was going to call down into Turkey Mountain. And, but by God, when I turned around and looked at the truck, it looked like it was 2 miles away. I was like, I told Greg, I said, we ain't going to make it. He said, what? I said, we ain't making it to the truck.
Oh.
And I passed him running. He said, oh, shit. It's kind of like whoever can run faster that the bear ain't going to get you.
Yeah.
Whoever's left behind is the one's going to get it. Well, I think he was thinking that. And dude, he said, oh, shit. And I started rolling laughing. So, and I looked back, and Greg ain't shit. Well, I turned back and looked, and the hog passes him, and my God, coming right at me. So I take off running again, and I can hear it behind me hitting his hooves, hitting them rocks, and he just. I said, oh God, he's getting ready to clip me, and that's when I started. I said, I got to make a move, and that's when I jumped and buckled and. Like I fell down like in between these two dikes. I knew I jacked I knew my leg was totaled. I felt it. I was in excruciating pain. Like I jumped, like as soon as it happened, I was like, oh shit. And I jumped up on all fours and I was like looking and
Where's the freaking hog?
Where's he at? Cause hell, you get a man down, he's gonna do a number on you.
Some bitch just eat you.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he eats you, but he gonna cut you. And I looked over the dike and I saw his back going back the way he come. He just didn't see me. He went right back to where he come from.
You're like, well, I wish I would have dove in this ditch.
Oh no, I didn't know what I should be doing, but I was happy that I done that. But this is a killer area to glass from. Now, normally I just wouldn't jump up here like this, but worth it.
There's one down here.
Doe.
There's 3 or 4 down there in that fresh grass. Right there at the turn of the slate. I can't tell what they are.
Oh God, there's like 6.
Yeah, there's several down there in that fresh grass.
Big buck, yeah.
You see a buck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, baby.
Several bucks.
Oh yeah, it's all bucks. The one, the second one from the back is a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that spotter?
That's a good idea. Gotta get a little reinforcement on the glass, Might be something you want to look at too.
What you got? Good buck?
Yeah. He was asking about backer groups. I think we found him one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Gets me all excited and stuff. Yeah, they growing real nice. There's a small buck right there, too.
Josh.
What?
Is he gonna go buck?
Huh?
Is he going buck?
Oh, we don't worry about that, Zach.
He already said
Is
he's
he gonna be something to actually be proud of, or?
Ben, I'm gonna put you right up there with my intelligence level, okay? Because you got Crocs on with no socks. At least I wore socks.
Yeah.
And I'm in shower shoes.
We're gonna know tonight if the chiggers are out yet.
That's the worst enemy here.
Bugs.
The chiggers and seed ticks.
Yeah, I bet seed ticks. You getting any footage of these good bucks, Keith? Or?
Yeah. I got him. I got a clip of him.
Good clip of them.
Take this gear.
Sick move.
There's a hill there.
Yeah. So what about this stuff where it's a little bit more broken? You call into this? Are they bedding in here? How's this going?
You hunt right through that.
Yeah.
Right with them. This is usually a feeding area, and they're going down in that drain to bed in that thicket. Because like once you roll off that hillside, it's been mined, but it's been growing for a long time. It gets real thick. So we'll hunt right through that slowly, just meandering through. And then a buddy of mine, Sean, he ground hunts too. He goes right in that and just cuts out. He cuts out, some autumn olive branches and sits in against the autumn olive and trims them out. And he'll just sit in there. And then if he sees a deer, he'll take off after it. But he just settles in and kind of just chills out.
Pretty sick. But you don't get this, everywhere, obviously. You don't get the mine spots that like this.
Yeah, but everything down here, if you get any sort of property, it's going to have reclaim on it. It's going to have these mine spots because every mountain down here has been touched along the years some way or another. That one's a nice little 8-point.
I haven't even really
Probably
looked
got
at it.
about, he's got,
You look down there,
he's got a
buddy.
month and a half.
Or to the right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there.
I'm shooting that buck right now if it's legal. You know what I mean? Great deer. Dude, hell yeah. That's a freaking... Start thinking... Hey, Josh. Start thinking of names, because, you're going to have to build a story around this one.
Yeah, I ain't naming nothing no more. I'm going to call him Dead and Dead One.
You don't want to try to get obsessed.
Nah, man, I like being opportunist.
That's a shooter buck, though. I don't care where I'm at. Whatever that thing turns into, he's probably going to be good enough.
Oh, yeah.
Zach and I were in that gap right there at Low Gap turkey season. Right there.
No.
And we come up from the other side and called nothing, called again. That turkey was all the way on this other side of this black stuff from us. And we waited a couple minutes, called again. He was on that side of the black stuff. We didn't say nothing. We was like, where do you want to set up? Because it's not a good setup up there. And I was like, let's go up the pipeline, get in those pines and see if we can't call them up in there. Them birds dropped off, went all the way to the drain, downhill, and come all the way to us in that low gap. And Zach smoked his head after missing one off the roost at 7 a.m. Can you spot the deer?
Oh, yeah, there's one way out there.
Yeah, in the thick stuff.
Yeah.
I can't tell what he is right now, because all you can see is his back. But you can kind of imagine sitting here for a couple hours.
Quail?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. There's quite a few quail up here. They're coming back. Let's see what that deer is.
I think it is. I think it is a buck. Out in the rough. Oh, okay. You see that rock pile? The road splits in the rock pile to the right.
And then back there, that open.
He's back in beside an autumn out. Oh, yes.
Hey.
What's that?
Come, hurry up before he goes down the hill.
Get that
Look
phone
at
on.
it.
Just get the phone on. Keep, go.
He's right there.
Yeah. Oh, don't go any further.
Okay.
Same one we were looking at?
Yeah.
He's a good deer.
Yeah, it looks like a real big one.
Yeah.
Buried?
Like 125 or what?
No. He's good.
No.
Always trying to put a man on the spot, ain't he? He's good. He's a good deer.
You hold this.
He's still right there feeding.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Let him do
Oh,
some
you see his horn?
Oh,
You see
yeah,
it?
he's a good
Uh-huh.
one. He's a great
Makes
one.
my nipples hard.
A couple more back to the left.
Where'd he go? Has he just got his head down? Oh, there's his tine sticking up.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
There's two up to the left of him.
Josh.
Yes, sir. Yeah, what's wrong?
We're gonna have to come film you kill this thing, I think.
This is
Oh,
fine
there he
place.
goes.
Go back up. He looks like he might just be large.
He's right over the
Yeah,
edge.
looks like a huge 8-point, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what he is, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I see them other two coming out.
To be completely honest, as far as an actual real life scenario, I don't know where these things are.
There's another one there. It's kind of freaking crazy.
Shoo-wee. That's kind of pretty out there.
So you like spending time up here then, huh?
Hey? Yeah, man, I love it up here.
From a habitat standpoint, like, what are some of the things that interest you about this area, just because it is different than what
I mean, just
you're
the,
used to being around?
the amount of acreage that is totally connected to shrubland. Like, you're not going to find that. Like, think about a farm field. It's hard to find one that's this big, reverting, you know? Like 1,000 acre farm reverting all at once. Yeah, I guess just the pockets too of bare dirt, like near the roads and that ash pit or whatever. Just like the amount of like bare space, just because the ground is so bad. So it makes little pockets.
There he is back here.
Oh.
See if I can find him here. I just saw him with my big fellows.
Oh, here he is, here he is, here he is. Don't move me, big boy.
Oh, you find him?
Oh yeah.
Stay on him, Keith. This is a big deal.
Oh, he come right back up, didn't he? Yeah, that deer right there's gonna be a shooter.
Oh yeah.
I do believe.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
How important is a good tripod?
Oh, majorly. No, I like the Vortex ones. You know my problem with the Vortex tripods? I've got the larger ones, and they're awesome that I do my gun mounts on. But I've talked to Eric and those guys about it. Is that you see this control arm on this fluid head? I'd like to machine one to put in. Like their small tripods are awesome, but I'd like to have a longer arm because they got those little itty bitty arms. And when I loosen it up, just barely, like I'll lose everything, and I'll have to go back and try to find it again. I love their tripods. I just don't like the control arm.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in the road for y'all in a minute and get real good.
Right in the middle of the road?
Yeah, he's about he's probably 40 yards from the road right now.
What do you see? You got another big one?
I think it's a buck. I don't know if he's.
Up in
It's the one that's been up in that meadow.
Oh no, that's the one I saw earlier, Ben.
It's pretty
But there's
far.
another one.
That's the same one, isn't it?
No, he's looking all the way up there.
Yeah.
And then that one I seen over there in that opening, I can now see him. Not that there's any deer around here, but I saw it up there, Ben.
Yeah.
It's still there. That's a buck. It just
The
now
one
went.
just now moving
It
off.
just now went into those
Yeah.
in that scrub brush there to the right.
Yeah. I wanted to come out and see bucks, and then we did it. It's pretty easy to watch them all come out to the food source when it's all around you. You don't have to drive around and find a bean field.
I'll show you that. I'm sure we can get down to the other side of the lease before dark. I'll show you all that other side. I mean, we ain't seen enough over here. There he is. Oh yeah, I got you, Bubby. Right there he is, right in front of us. 25 yards.
Nice.
I've got him in 30 meters.
Oh yeah.
That thing's gonna be pretty wide. Yeah. This here used to be a pond,
Oh yeah.
a sediment pond. It's got reclaimed. And they just got rid of it. It's that monster fishing. I mean monster.
That's weird. Now you just dive in the same pond that you used to fish in.
Yeah.
time-wise, this is a later reclaimed mine.
Yeah.
You'll see what it looks like when it's grown up out here on the other side. I just want to get out there before it's dark. Oh man, nice. Right there he is! Man, another good one.
Antler growth seems pretty decent this year.
Yeah.
Well, the buck went over the hill too. I seen him go in right there.
Little bum, Josh says. Just a little bum. West Virginia Safari Ride?
Hell. See that ridge right there where we introduced the American chestnut.
Really?
That's all been mines all over there. But it was 25 years ago. So the whole top of that's been mined. Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna pull off the road?
If it does, it's gonna go right over there. There's one right there.
Coyote the road.
How far out? Oh yeah, I see.
Right out the middle.
You see him right there, Zach? If you go to the second split down there, see the coyote, he's running right for us, right in front.
Man, it sure would be nice if a guy had a rifle, but
There's
no reason, right?
Huh. Yeah, no reason. Said Josh is a dumbass. Where's that deer at again?
Oh, I see him back there. Is it a buck, you think?
I don't know. I can't. It's got a little bit too dark on me. My eyes ain't what they used to be.
What about hunting in those timber patches?
That's see that big long point coming off there?
Mm-hmm. Where the tower is on top?
Well, the tower's on another point way behind it.
But it's in line with
yeah, that's where Zach killed that booner that we found during bear season. And he come in 3 days later after jumping out of his bed because he had to go get his hounds up in here. And he jumped that buck out of the bed, and 3 days later he killed it. Yeah.
That's sick. Where and the bed was in the timber?
Yeah, he was down low.
Really?
Yeah. It was down low because we'd come in from the bottom.
Can you show me what that looks like on a map?
Oh, yeah.
Just out of curiosity, what the bed looks like.
So, there's the point. That's it coming up right here.
Yep.
It kind of curves. And he killed it down in here. I mean, he was just right up out of the drain, a couple hundred vertical feet. My guess is when Zach jumped him, you see how that contour right there gets wider coming off that point?
Yep.
That's probably an old skid road or a prospect road looking for a coal seam. And my guess is he was right in there because he wasn't very far up out of the creek. Like I said, I mean, that's about 400 vertical feet. But he killed it right there on that point, right on the lower section of it. And see how there's all those inundations in it? And when it's coming around that point, and it's kind of flatter coming down this offside finger until you get close to the bottom.
Yeah. So where was his setup within
that? Right there.
Okay. And what was the hunt story on that? Like, he just came in?
No, we actually went. This is what's crazy. So we were hound hunting, and Zach said, I gotta go up in the holler and get a couple dogs. Well, then, like, Zach went radio silent. And then when we got back to the truck, I was like, hey, what took you? Oh, nothing. And then we got out of here. Well, then a front came in, snowstorm. We got like 9 inches of big, heavy, wet snow. And I'd shut down the work. And I said, hey, y'all want to go eat breakfast at Bob Evans? And a few of us said, yeah, let's go. We went up to Bob Evans, ate breakfast, and it's like 11. I said, Zach, what are you doing? He said, I'm actually going to go kill that big buck. I said, you're going to go get in a stand today? And he's like, yep, I'm going to go kill him. And
by God, he went in there and killed him. He sent me a picture that evening. He said, I told you. And he's done that with every big buck he's killed. It's like he goes in for a kill day. Like if he's going in to hunt, he's going in to kill something.
I guess here's a question for you, Josh.
Yeah.
What do you hope to learn, like, this coming season hunting this particular area?
Just more of the terrain. Because, I mean, that's what I go off of. And when I'm ground hunting, I mean, if I can find a hiding place or a shortcut, and they're everywhere. And I've been all over this property, but I ain't been all over it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's every day you're just learning something. Turkey season is the best time to learn terrain because the leaves ain't on yet, it ain't greened up, and we're chasing everywhere. This is the freaking holler. If y'all seen any videos, I know everybody don't have time to watch, but like me and Zach was on this side, and we got halfway down because we thought the bird was on this side, and we got over there, and the bird was up in that freaking drain. And if we'd have known that, we could have just drove around, got right on top of it. So we went all the way down and went all the way up the other side, and ended up pie facing him, and had to walk all the way back down and come back up this godforsaken place. But it's always worth it, because when you go on treks like that, you're learning.
Yeah, you're learning.
You learn all the terrain features and all the nooks and crannies, man. And you're seeing beds and where they're traveling.
What's the creek down there like?
About 6 foot, 8 foot wide. And this is a valley field right here that's grown up. Okay, so they filled this whole holler up from back here all the way down there at the stream. The stream bed is still there, because what they do, they go in and they dig all the alluvial material out, like down to a good solid, not bedrock, but they dig it out to where it's solid, and then they fill it up with shot rock to make like a huge French drain. So there's a French drain all the way in this valley field.
Okay.
And so you get all your surface water that gets in your drains up here, but your main creek channel's still running. You can go down there to the toe of the valley field, and there's no water running out of the surface drains, and you can still see water coming out from under the valley field coming through the French drain constantly. It never stops. So the original creek is still there.
Yeah.
They just fill it up. When we started Untamed, it wasn't. Yeah, we were going to hunt because that's what we're based on. But like, Untamed should be a lifestyle. Well, when it started, I mean, it was more not just hunting. It was like showing that we all have full-time jobs. We all got families. We're coaches, chasing kids, sports, functions, but we're all making time to still get out here. And it's kind of just like that go mentality, no matter what, you make time for it. Like if you get off work and I've got 2 hours to come up here in Glass, well, yeah, it sucks I got an hour and a half drive home, but I'm still going to come up here in Glass because it's going to make the opportunities in the fall pay off. And it's just that I want to put more of that lifestyle stuff in, showing us at ball games, Jay coaching baseball, me coaching, the family stuff cooking at the house. I mean, just more than just hunting, because that's not what it's all about. You know, it's making time to do what you love to do, and if you, like all of us got real jobs, you know, and everybody says, oh, you got it made. Well, all you got to do is stay up for 18, 19 hours a day, and you can do the same thing. I invite anybody to grind it out, you know, and that's what it's all about for me. And yeah, do I hope that it works out? I can do it full time? Hell yeah. Everybody has that dream. But if not, I die tomorrow. Guess what? My son, in 15 years when he's married and he puts a couple crumb crunchers out there on the ground, you know what I'm saying? He's going to be saying, hey, you want to know your pawpaw? This right here was your pawpaw. He's going to be able to see me, hear me. He'll see my facial expressions, and I'm always going to exist. You know, everybody, my grandfather, great-grandfather told me about their fathers. I've seen pictures, but you don't hear them. You don't know what they're like. So I'm never going away. That's the priceless thing about filming. That's why I won't go in the woods without it, just because you don't know what you will miss documenting. You know what I mean? For my family to talk about me and say, hey, this was that crazy bastard. This was Uncle Josh. You know?
This is the guy that forgot to put the parking brake on when he
Yeah, and
got out
his
of
Jeep rolled off the damn hill. I heard it creaking, and I was like, you were sitting there, you were in that, and I was like, what's that creaking for?